industry first to launch the new Actros, we are doing a live stream drive day.
With a real driver on a real trucking route, demonstrate some of its core innovations.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's hit the road. Here we go. This is all live, so it's all happening now. Andrew, should we go inside the truck?
Let's get in the truck.
All right, here we go. So, let's open this beautiful rig up. So why don't we start from the start? You talked about the key out the front. We've done the key check.
Yes.
That is a keyless start. So Rob just pushed the engine start button and we're away.
Correct. So as simple as having the key in your pocket, foot on the brake, press the start-stop button, the vehicle will start. So it just makes it a little bit easier and one less thing to think of about putting the key in the ignition barrel to get the vehicle up and running.
We'll get to the screens in a second, but the actual design of the interior is made for comfort.
Yes.
And for efficiency, right?
Absolutely right. And from a comfort perspective, it's even really well thought out in the way that it's laid out to you. So everything's easy to reach. But you can see, even looking in Rob's seating position, everything on the driver's side is black for so it can be a bit more robust for people getting in and out. And on the passenger side, where we want a little bit more space, it's a little different colour here as well, just to give the feeling and the impression of space. The other big part of comfort, though, as well, of course, for Rob, is the seat that he's sitting in, Shura. So it is one of the most adjustable seats available, air suspended seats that we can offer the market.
Can we use that beautiful word, ergonomic?
Absolutely, it is super ergonomic, and also the armrests, even massaging functions and lumbar supporting.
And as we can see, there are lots of screens.
So, as you rightly said, there's 4 digital displays in this vehicle. So the 2 on the A-pillars that we can see here are our MirrorCam. The other 2 screens that we see in front of you is the digital instruments cluster, which can be adjusted through the steering wheel. So all the key features that Rob needs to see for his drive in terms of speed, tachograph, fuel information for fuel, AdBlue, and also coolant levels, anything that might be important to him is available to him through that dash and can be customised to his liking.
Trucks weren't normally known to have this sort of style and comfort that the Actros has, do they?
No, and it's a big change. So this whole multimedia cockpit and layout has been really well thought out to try and support the driver and make it as comfortable as it can be for him. So yes, it's a big step up, of course, and again, the multimedia cockpit design itself gives a lot more perception of space, even for the driver, by taking away the size of that traditional instrument cluster that would have sat in front of Rod, but giving him really crisp information.
What about navigation systems for the truck?
So that's also included as part of this multimedia cockpit. So the second display screen here, which is a multi-touch display, includes navigation, so truck mapping and navigation.
So the functionality is huge. I mean, this is part of it. We're trying to make as easy as possible for the driver.
Correct.
And the efficiency as good as possible.
That's right, absolutely. So ease for the driver, as efficient as possible, and it's also important to note that while this is a touch screen, we do have the soft switches and combination of soft and hard switching, so you can still have a choice, right? And everything can be done still from the steering wheel. So when we look over to Rob, where his hands are at the moment in the steering wheel, both on the left-hand side and the right-hand side of the steering wheel, there is a navigation button, so he doesn't have to be touching the screen. He can just keep his eyes on the road.
Now, one of the things that this truck has, I can see in front of me, is a charging port.
Correct. Yeah, that's right, Shura. So we've got 2 mechanisms of charging, but what we include in this vehicle here is a inductive charging system. So simply place our phone here and it will be connected to the charger. So if your phone's capable of inductive charging or wireless charging, all you need to do is place your vehicle on the charging mat and it will be charged through that
So you
mechanism.
can do it on the charging mat, or you've got USB-C?
Or we have USB-C. So if you're able to see over my side, there's a USB-C connection, which is our standard in this vehicle now, to give us the highest level of connectivity to the vehicle and fastest data transfer. Yep.
Sound system?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've improved this as a premium sound system in this vehicle as well. And of course, we've got Apple Play. Once we're connected through USB-C to an appropriate phone or device, we can have CarPlay available to us in this system, which is all controllable.
I just want you to know, and this is for Rob's benefit, this was the song that I was going to play, Rob, that I thought was pretty applicable.
is we have both dual band Bluetooth in this vehicle as well. So what I mean by that is we can connect two different devices, because as a driver you might have a company phone for one reason and you might have your personal phone. So I do have the flexibility to connect two devices and use that as part of the total system.
We should also talk about the fact that I mentioned it off the top when we took our jackets off, but the climate inside here is beautiful, so it's obviously got to be easy for the driver as well to control the climate.
That's right. So we've got automatic climate control, but adjustable as well, which again can be operated through that multi-touch display, and that's one of the buttons we can see there right now. So simply by touching that display, I've got full control over the climate system, or I can just simply flick it to auto and set the temperature, sure, and just make it really simple.
There are other things, obviously central locking system, that's important.
Yeah, correct. So that's included in every vehicle. So central locking is part of what we offer, so easy to open the vehicle from remote and either side as well.
It's quiet inside here as well. Should I mention that?
It is very quiet inside this, and that it is a really quiet vehicle. So I mean, we're sitting here beside each other, talking quite comfortably, sure, and that's part of the design of the vehicle as well, and part of what we're trying to achieve to give more comfort.
Now, you've talked about the connectivity, and obviously a lot of businesses use trucking as well. It's a core part of their business. So, importantly, reporting back and things to do with the efficiency and the numbers are really important. And telematics, that plays a crucial role to a lot of businesses when it comes to how they run their trucks, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That's becoming a bigger part of making sure the operation is being watched for the maximum efficiency and benefits, so operators can monitor their vehicles, where they're going, what they're doing and how they're performing, and that's something that's included as standard in every one of these Mercedes-Benz vehicles. So we can track the vehicle as it's on its route, so where it's going, where it's operating, what speeds in live time, is it any critical events that might have occurred as well. So all of this is measurable and visible on a portal site remotely. So there's a certain amount of information that's available to the dash, but all of that's transmitted remotely, so it can be analysed in a bit more detail with drivers or operators to say, here's the type of performance we got. The vehicles are achieving this type of fuel consumption, so fuel consumption can be measured. How much coasting time is used, so how much we're using cruise control and proximity assists, which we'll talk to a little bit later, and PPC. So how much, so we can use it as a tool to measure how much more efficiently we can drive the vehicle, and what are the opportunities for improvements.
And things like collisions ahead as well, or collisions I should say, they're also fed back?
Correct, that's right, Shira. So we can see that sort of detail as well if it's available on the network.
Now, what about, and I trust my life to Rob, but driver behaviour is a big part of, knowing about the efficiency of the vehicle and the driver and the business and all those sorts of things. Yep. That's also part of telematics, isn't it?
Yeah, a big part of it as well. So again, when we can see some of those key elements of consumption and how much time a vehicle's in cruise control and how much time it's using PPC, how much time it's in certain rev bands, we can get an indication of how the vehicle's being driven. But again, use that as a tool to help improve the efficiency of the vehicle overall, and that's all available to us as well. So in terms of trying to determine performance of a vehicle, there's a couple of key factors we know: the weight that the vehicle's pulling, the speed it's travelling, and then the type of fuel consumption and the route that it's taking. So if we know all of those things, we can start to work out, is the truck getting the best performance it possibly can, looking over a bigger pool, right? Then we can say a truck with this type of weight on this type of route should be able to achieve a certain type of fuel consumption if it's driven in the best possible way.
So, because we're going to look at the telematics of this particular drive, and it's really interesting, because some of it was almost a bit shocking. How good it is, I should say, not shocking bad. Average speed 46 kilometres an hour. Max speed 100 k's, which I guess is to be expected, even though there's a speed limit above that. But of course, if a truck had gone over a hill, we'd oversped, we would know that.
Correct, yeah.
And the gear changes is a big one as well. So we can tell how many gear changes have happened. You can really start to see the efficiency of that vehicle. Fuel consumption, so 35 litres per 100 k's.
Yes, so that's for the life of this truck over the past month for this truck on various routes. And we can look at that as total averages and say this type of consumption has been achieved for this vehicle over this period of time. Yeah, that's outstanding fuel consumption, and in this application, or in what this truck's been doing, that is a great fuel efficiency number or fuel consumption number.
Now, what about the percentage green band?
I think that's a key part, yeah, and that's one thing we can measure. So how much is a vehicle being driven in the economical band? Now that's available as information on Rob's display as well, so we can see the vehicles are set to coast and operate mostly in that band, because we know the vehicle's most efficient when it's operating.
Should I break it to him?
Yeah, you should.
Rob?
Yeah.
97% in the green band, mate.
Well done, Rob.
Keep your job done. We should probably talk a little bit about the active brake assist and the active brake assist 5.
Yes, that's right, Shura. So we have had active brake assist in the market for quite some time, and it's continually iterated, continually evolved. So as you rightly said, we're at a level active brake assist 5, but what that really means for us is this truck will brake autonomously as an emergency braking feature to a parked vehicle or even to a walking pedestrian. So it's not only just focusing on road users and the road conditions, it's focusing on protecting the driver and pedestrians in built-up areas now as well.
So a pretty good indication of how active brake assist works and how important it is in a truck like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's one of our core innovations in this vehicle is this next level of autonomous emergency braking through that active brake assist 5 system.
I guess the key point is safer trucks are more efficient trucks, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And more efficient trucks, but it's about also keeping everybody on the road and behind the wheel as safe as we possibly can.
If you can see, I don't know if you guys can see Rob's dash there, we've got the active brake assist and the proximity control, I should say, coming into play.
That's right. So we'll still, with the proximity assist, as we said before, we're setting up that virtual buffer zone again. So the vehicle will come, not in an emergency state, will also come to a complete stop. So as we gradually drive along here, take the exit, the car in front comes to a stop, the vehicle will also follow this behind and come to a complete stop, a gradual complete stop. Right. So even in built-up traffic conditions, if you could imagine a built-up highway, we could still start and stop to that moving traffic without having to push the accelerator or brake pedal.
And important in urban areas as well, if you're trucking through urban areas, right?
Yeah. And again, it's just making it easier for making it easier for the driver, but more safe for the driver too.
You can see as we're in the low gear here.
Yeah.
The truck's sort of doing all the work, Rob. Not to say you're surplus to requirements right now, but the truck is kind of doing its thing, isn't it? It is.
So there's no intervention with Rob. The truck's doing it all on its own, so it'll maintain that buffer zone. So now we've stopped. As long as the car takes off, within 2 seconds, the vehicle will automatically engage drive and try and maintain that gap that we'd preset. Right. But I guess the big benefit there is trying to help, as opposed to normal cruise control systems where you have to reset and add it all the time, you don't have to reset the system. You can just keep playing it. You can just have it activated and the truck will do the work for you.
That's very clever.
So we've released the park brake already, but the electronic park brake has a function where you can keep it activated and there's automatic release as well. So when you push the accelerator, the truck knows it needs to go. We can tell it if it wants to have that feature or not, but by having an electronic park brake, this is a kind of adaptability we have.
It's very clever.
And also, as we come to a stop here, we might show the hold function quickly. Yep. So if Rob pushes his brake pedal to presses it, the hold symbol will come up on the dash. Yep. And again, whether I'm on an uphill or downhill incline, the vehicle will hold me on that until I push the accelerator pedal and ask for it to go.
There we go, he's back in the green. But there's something that's new on this Actros, an optional add-on.
That's right.
That is changing the game.
I'm glad you pointed out, Shura, as well. So if we have a look, the most obvious improvement to aerodynamics on this vehicle is the MirrorCam, or the mirror pods that you see. We've gone away from the conventional mirrors and have an option to include the MirrorCam system, which includes a camera pod replacing a conventional mirror to give greater visibility. We'll talk more through that later today, but it is a massive improvement and has significant aerodynamic benefits.
What can you see in the side mirror there, Andrew?
So there's our follower vehicle, the Lionel 2663 Mercedes-Benz vehicle coming through, and we can see that clearly in the MirrorCam display.
See, and that's exactly what we're talking about, seeing the MirrorCam in action.
Yeah, that's right. So seeing the type of visibility we get from the MirrorCam, the depth we can see, the clarity we can see it with as well. Inside the vehicle, we can see these two displays that show us everything we would normally see through a conventional mirror. But the real beauty of these displays being on these A-pillars is the amount of head movement you need to make to look into the monitor. You can see really clearly with small head movements what's in your rear vision mirror. That not only improves aerodynamic, but one of the biggest damage items we see in vehicles is mirrors. Yeah. So by having these mirror pods that are on flexible pivoting arms, we reduce the risk of damage to the mirror cam and therefore improve the safety and reliability of the whole system. But what we do set every time is the length of the trailer. So one of the blue bars that I can see in this vehicle is, in the MirrorCam display, is the MirrorCam trailer length setting.
Yep.
So when I set the vehicle up, when I'm connected to my trailer, I can use my normal mirror display controls to reset that blue line to outline the rear end of my trailer. So I always know where the rear of my trailer is.
Got you.
The next three bars here indicate space behind the vehicle at a 30-metre zone, a 50-metre zone and a 100-metre zone. Now later on the trip we'll show you what that means as well.
Yep.
Because that really helps us when we're overtaking to really accurately judge the space and know if we're in a safe zone for overtaking a vehicle.
But now we're in a big truck stop.
Yeah.
This is a typical part of every truck driver's sort of, a daily sort of habits.
Yeah.
Pull in and potentially have to reverse a fairly large truck.
Yeah, that's right. So we're just going to demonstrate that now as well and what that looks like through the MirrorCam and using some of the using the system, as we said before, to outline the rear of the trailer and know where our rear point is within a certain space. So when Rob puts it in reverse, the image will change slightly, or the display will change slightly.
There we go.
So now we can see that blue line is outlining the rear of our trailer. So Rob's going to reverse this vehicle up now to align it within a few hundred millimetres of those cones.
No pressure on him, which is good. We're only live across Australia.
That's right. So he's aiming for those double cones at the moment. So we can see on the display that's the last single cone. When we get to these double cones and the blue line's lined up to just in front of those double cones, we know that the rear of the trailer is within a certain space of those cones. Okay, we're just stopped here and we've got Shura standing outside the vehicle. He's just going to do a quick walk around to give you a demonstration of the amount of visibility we have to the MirrorCam through the MirrorCam system in all those blind spots that we may normally have with a conventional mirror. So as Shura walks around the back of the vehicle, we'll see him come down the driver's side, and we've got full visibility of him there all the way up to the steer axle. And that's what we want to show here. So where those typical blind spots may be in a normal vehicle with normal mirrors, you have visibility with the MirrorCam. So an amazing amount of visibility we can achieve.
Now, we've moved from the training truck, and we are now, Andrew, inside the SoloStar. Take us through a few of the key features of this truck.
The key part is it's a bigger cab. If you look in here, it's a much bigger cab. And I guess one of the standout features of SoloStar right now, sure, is what you're sitting in right there. So the SoloStar seat concept, which is really a lounge-style seat to give more comfort for solo drivers or when you're long-haul operation. You can kick your feet up, you can rest out and spread out. You can use it as exactly for that, as a footrest. So really comfortable position and seating for the driver when he's on his break. There's a heap of other features around that too, so not to mention just this whole tray table area that we've got here. So if we're going to have something to eat, which we probably will in a minute, sure, we can pull out the 30-litre fridges or 35-litre fridges. So we've got two of those in this vehicle here, packed full of food and drinks, ready to go for the driver to make it really nice and tidy and comfortable. So once you help yourself to something.
We've got a protein bar, we've got a banana. Yeah. I mean, this driver is very healthy. We've got oranges and waters. So keep talking while I peel my banana here, Andrew.
Do the same.
So this one is built for comfort.
That's right. So this is built for comfort, right? Absolutely. So we've got more space in this vehicle. As we said, it's a line haul focused vehicle. So we've got this flat floor as well. So it's not only do we have more space and seating space and comfort space, we've got more height in the vehicle and more space for me even to stand up.
That. You're 6'4"?
I'm 6'4", yeah. So I can stand up fairly comfortably in this vehicle and walk around. So I'm not always sleeping in a vehicle on my rest stops. I'm moving around the vehicle. So this just gives me more space and more opportunity to move around, change clothes, pull the curtains around, which I have. So front windscreen curtains, so I can close myself off to the.
Do you want to show that off? Just show
a bit of it here. So
how far these go around. I mean, this is a key feature, obviously, for those who have to sleep in their rig.
Yep. So we can pull this all the way around either side to close off the windscreen, but we've also got another bunk curtain. So we want to make it nice and comfortable for the driver, block out all the light.
You get that going, there we go. Oh, look at that.
We've got a really comfortable significantly sized mattress.
What's the size of that? That looks
so it's about 110 millimetres thick as a mattress size, but it's more about the overall width and length of it. So it's about as big as a single bed. So
I'll tell you what.
There you go. Sure, have a pillow, rest up.
Got the Mercedes-Benz.
We'll see you later on.
110 mils of mattress is enough to feel. It feels like a home mattress to you.
It is very much like a single bed mattress. Quite comfortable, quite a lot of space. But again, I've still got all this space around me here to still be able to manoeuvre even when the mattress is folded down.
Particularly when you're at a truck stop like this, you've got your blinds closed. You're trying to sleep peacefully. You want to make sure you're safe as well, and there are some really key features that come with this truck.
Yeah, that's right. So if you look beside you there, Shura, there's the MirrorCam system can be activated from the bunk. So if it's at night time and I hear noises outside of the vehicle and I want to see what's happening, it can be used as a camera system. So if I flick that button, the displays will...
Oh, we probably don't have the truck on, that's why. There we go.
It'll still come on because the truck doesn't need to be on. So we're sleeping here with the vehicle off, just takes a second to kick. Then we've got a display at night time. So even at night, I can still see through the MirrorCam system to use it just as a personal safety system.
Yeah. And in terms of the other systems that are in here as well, there are also some other lighting and comfort systems.
I can control the lighting, I control the stereo volume, I can control the sunroof if available, so I can let some fresh air in the vehicle as well. So all of these type of things just to make it easier for the driver sitting in his sleeping spot or lying in his sleeping zone now, and everything at his fingertips.
There's also, there's lots of storage. There's a microwave up here, by the way. I should have said that. Could microwave my banana if I needed to. Bit of a weird thing to do.
It could, but you still could do it.
There we go. All right, so the seat's back up. Now I can sit down. I can show you this little tray table feature, which comes out like that. You can I can put my little iPad. Bang, bang, bang.
So we know when you're a driver, you're not always resting on the bed. You might be just taking this rest, and that's what this is designed for. Sit back, have a relax, kick your feet up. You can put the iPad there, take some time to watch a movie and relax and regenerate, or rejuvenate.
No, well done. That's great. Now, this is the one. This is the particular fact that I found astounding. It's coasting time.
Yes.
So the amount of time that the truck is moving without actually needing the engine to provide power. We've done 126 kilometres of coasting.
Which is a massive amount of free kilometres effectively. So by that I mean the truck's coasted in that PPC mode.
It's in it now, actually.
PPC knows, and we'll talk to it more later, PPC knows the terrain the vehicle's operating in through use of a topographic map system that's implemented in the vehicle. But it can know the terrain ahead. So up to 2 kilometres ahead, or we would call it a virtual horizon, the vehicle knows the terrain, so it can optimise the drivetrain to get maximum efficiency and use that coasting to save kilometres, and save fuel.
Let's talk again. We've talked a few times about it, but predictive powertrain control.
Yeah.
This is a key feature of this truck.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's, again, built on that topographic mapping. So we've mapped a certain amount of the road network with that map system. So it doesn't cover every single road, but it covers what we call our major A and B roads in Australia at this point. Right. It will be iteratively updated, and this can come into its own in these type of environments as it's where there's undulating terrain, as we said before. So again, because the vehicle knows the road it's on, it knows how to get the best efficiency and get those 3 kilometres that we spoke about before, Shura, by optimising the drivetrain or selecting a gear down or whatever it might be to be able to get up a hill in a bit more effective. It's evolved. So we've had functions in the vehicle before called eco-roll, where we use the coasting, undulating coasting of the vehicle to get those 3 kilometres as well. But predictive powertrain control takes it up a level by actually knowing that road terrain. I mentioned it before. So the vehicle includes that topographic mapping, so it can make the changes before you hit those areas to get the best efficiency possible out of the vehicle. So
Rob's not having to do much here, is it? The truck's kind of taking control.
Pretty much. Rob's steering at the moment.
Yep. You're a great steerer, Rob. There are some great questions coming in, so we appreciate it. Quite a lot of questions, Andrew, about the fuel efficiency and the way the telematics report that, particularly with the predictive powertrain control. Can you talk?
So we look at the total fuel consumption for the trip, but we can also say when the fuel's really good, we can usually tie that also to some areas of opportunity with how much idle time is achieved through PPC, or when how much cruise control time is on, which also shows us the truck's doing most of the work for most of the time to drive in its economical band. And we can see when that's on or off to determine the fuel consumption. And we'd always recommend as well, when we're out in the highway stretches, that get into cruise control as soon as you can, because the truck's going to do most of the work for you to keep you in that zone. Other than making some interruptions from time to time where needed, the truck will get you the most economical result for the most part of it. So we can identify that according to the routes and say from this trip, from this location A to B, if we have cruise control time of this amount, we should improve our fuel consumption.
You talked about all the ownership options, of course. You know, there's lots of those. So as Mercedes-Benz is known for, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. So we have a heap of ownership options through financing and even agility with guaranteed future value of the vehicle. So we know what the future value of the vehicle will be at the time we purchase it. So it just helps us with, again, offering a fixed cost model to the customer with less risk. So more certainty for their operation.
So that's the agility guarantee.
That's the agility guaranteed future value program.
So there you go. So if you are thinking about it, obviously there are a lot of options for the ownership there. Make sure you get in touch if you are thinking of that. This has just been an absolutely fabulous drive, and I must say, across some different conditions, we had dry conditions to start with, we had greasy conditions. Now we've had a bit more rain. We've certainly been able to show exactly what the truck can do.
Yeah.
So we really do say a big thank you for joining us on our live day. And also, I should mention, this is very important, make sure you contact your local Daimler Trucks dealership if you'd like a test drive, and you can come and see the Actros for yourself as well. Thank you to Andrew Asimo, Director of Mercedes-Benz Trucks. It's been a really great pleasure being with you in this truck. Thank you to Rob, keeping us safe. Fantastic drive by you. I've been SureTap. Look after yourselves. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you very shortly. All the best.
Thanks very much.